The eye of tropical storm Dante is now over southern Luzon after making a couple of landfalls overnight. More areas are now under signal number 2. The OCTA research team says the downward trend of COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila has disappeared. The World Health Organization has approved Sinovac for emergency use listing, making it the second Chinese-made vaccine to get the WHO's nod. Rotational brownouts in Luzon are set to continue until Monday, June 7, as power reserves crash to negative levels. And SB19's Pablo wins at the Djooky Music Awards for his collab song Determinado with Pinoy rapper Djooky. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Charles Lejano. Kicking off today's newscast with parts of the country under tropical cyclone wind signals due to tropical storm Dante. Signal number 2 is raised over the southern portion of Quezon, the extreme southeastern portion of Batangas, Marinduque, the central portion of Oriental Mindoro, Romblon, Masbate, and the western portions of Camarines Norte and Camarines Sur. Over in the Visayas, the extreme northern portion of Capiz, the northern portion of Aklan, and the extreme northeastern portion of Iloilo are also under signal number 2. Meanwhile, several areas in Luzon and the Visayas are also under signal number 1. These include the entire NCR Plus, and the complete list is now flashed on your screens. Tropical storm Dante has made another landfall in the vicinity of Cataingan, Masbate as of this morning. To give us the latest on today's weather, we have Ariel Rojas joining us live from the Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Ariel, good morning. Do we know whether Tropical Storm Dante will make landfall again today?
Hi, good morning, Charles. We are currently seeing the center of Tropical Storm Dante over the vicinity of Romblon. So yes, we are still expecting another landfall, maybe 1 or 2 more today, especially that the southern part of Luzon is composed of several islands. In the next 12 to 24 hours, Dante will continue to move northwestward, and then that may actually spell another landfall over Romblon or over Oriental Mindoro, and then it will turn towards Batangas, where it will make another landfall, and it will continue moving northward. By Friday, June 4, Dante, the remnant low of Dante, is expected to emerge over the Luzon Strait. So as Dante continues to interact with the Luzon landmass, it will also continue to weaken.
Ariel, are we expecting Dante to make landfall over Metro Manila anytime?
It will not make landfall over Metro Manila, but it may pass near or over Metro Manila within the day, maybe later this day, either this afternoon or this evening.
Right, Ariel, given the current trajectory, when do we expect Dante to exit the Philippine area of responsibility?
Dante may not exit the Philippine area of responsibility, but by Friday may already just a low pressure area over the Luzon Strait.
Right, Ariel, I recall that there is another low-pressure area just outside the PAR. When will this enter the area of responsibility?
We're still looking at the outlook is actually still, the consensus is not really good between the models. So we are continuously monitoring this low pressure area, which still remains more than 1,500 kilometers east of Mindanao. But we will continuously, issue updates regarding this weather system outside PAR, especially for the residents who may be affected in the central part of the country.
Yeah, thank you for those updates, Ariel. That was Pag-asa weather forecaster Ariel Rojas. The World Health Organization has approved the emergency use listing of Sinovac's COVID-19 vaccine. This makes Sinovac the second Chinese vaccine to get the WHO's nod after the organization approved Sinopharm's EUL last month. This EUL will allow Sinovac to be included in the COVAX program, which distributes COVID-19 vaccines to poor nations. The WHO's independent panel of experts says it's recommended Sinovac's vaccine for adults over 18. There was no upper age limit, as data suggested that it is likely to have a protective effect for older people. In other news, the OCTA research team reveals that the downtrend of COVID-19 cases in Metro Manila is gone. Speaking with the chiefs OCTA's Guido David explained that the trend of infections in NCR has become unstable, although David insisted that the situation is not yet alarming.
What we are seeing, part of the reason is that we're seeing a lot of these super spreader events happening, private pool parties, social gatherings. So a lot of transmissions are actually happening in these social gatherings instead of, maybe in offices. If this is the case, then this is more of complacency rather than the overall, quarantine restrictions.
In the same interview, Team OCTA also said that vaccinations have yet to make a significant effect on the COVID-19 situation in the country. They explained that it will take some time before immunity develops among vaccinated Filipinos.
Experience in many other countries suggests that we will not see a significant impact on transmission until the vaccination rate reaches about 30 to 40% in the population. So we're dealing with millions of people in the NCR alone, we're not even close to that yet. There's always going to be that, a month or 2 month lag in the effect of the vaccination on the pandemic.
A PDP Laban officer denied speculations that the party is on the brink of splintering. The past few weeks have seen PDP Laban officials and members publicly berating, contradicting, and questioning each other's statements. But in an interview with One News' The Chiefs, Vice President for External Affairs Raul Lambino says that the party is actually stronger than ever, especially after their National Council meeting last Monday. He pointed out that participatory and consultative democracy is one of the most important principles for PDP Laban members, and in effect, the National Assembly reportedly helped raise the morale of party members.
Mas lalong lumalakas po yung PDP Laban ngayon, especially after the holding of the National Council meeting. Ang partidong PDP Laban, magkakaroon lang yan din disintegration, magko-collapse lamang po yan kung mag-fail ang Pangulong Duterte sa kanyang panunungkulan bilang Pangulo ng Pilipinas.
Meanwhile, Lambino says Senator Manny Pacquiao might be facing sanctions after his supposed unlawful appointment of Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Teves as Secretary General of the PDP Laban. Lambino explained that the position of SecGen is not filled through appointment, but only by way of election. So, if it is true that acting party President Manny Pacquiao appointed someone to the post, Lambino says it can be considered usurpation of power.
Titignan namin yung pertinent provisions ng aming Constitution and bylaws. We have a procedure to follow for disciplining members who have committed such violations that we consider to be not to the interest of the parties.
Several parts of Metro Manila and other provinces have started experiencing rotational brownouts as of yesterday. But authorities say we should brace for more power interruptions until next week. Camille Samonte with the details.
Call center agent Arvin was supposed to start his afternoon shift when they suddenly lost their electricity at home. Arvin could not afford to be absent for the day as this will be deducted from his salary.
Di talaga maayos o maganda na nawawala ng kuryente lalo na ngayon may pandemic tapos maraming nagwo-work from home.
This laundry shop next door was also forced to stop operations due to the power outage in the area.
Tapos yung mga customer namin, paano ngayon, hinihintay na nila yung pag-deliver namin.
The National Grid Corporation of the Philippines has placed the Luzon grid under a longer red and yellow alert statuses on Tuesday. This means that the power supply in the grid is insufficient to meet the expected increase in demand. With this, Meralco implemented power interruptions in Metro Manila and several provinces this afternoon. Among areas affected are Bulacan, Cavite, Laguna, Batangas, Quezon Province, and Rizal. Other power companies also implemented power outages in several provinces. But this is only the start. NGCP said that consumers may experience rotational brownouts until June 7.
We are just balancing supply and demand, and in order to ensure that there will be no further interruption in vast areas in the Meralco franchise.
Energy Committee Chairman Senator Win Gatchalian chided the Energy Department for its supposed quote-unquote off projections on power supply. Gatchalian said the DOE vowed that there will be no power outages during vaccine rollout. Despite this, the country's COVID-19 task force has assured the public that cold storage facilities will not be affected by the rotational blackouts.
Sa ngayon po sa report ng DOH, wala pong naapektuhan dahil po ang requirement sa ating mga LGUs at ating mga iba't ibang storage facility ay laging may backup power na kasama para payagan na mag-store sila ng mga bakuna.
For News 5, Camille Samonte, we are One News.
Heto na nga ang kanyang pagsibol. SB19's pinuno, Pablo, and rapper Josue won the Djooky Music Awards Spring Edition for their hit collab song, Determinado. The first ever global online song contest was evaluated by a 6-member panel of big-time musicians from around the world, including Filipino singer Christian Bautista. Winners of the contest were determined by the amount of online votes that they received and the decision of the judges. As the grand winners, the Nasib brothers have a pick at their own prize, as they can either take home $20,000 or go on a dream trip to record one song with multi-platinum American producer Brian Malouf in Los Angeles, California. On Twitter, Pablo thanked their fans and Djooky Music for recognizing their explosive song, which was released on May 20. And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Just register for a free account at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.